Yo, welcome to Hard Pass. I am your host, Jacques Slade. Today on the show, we've got Action Bronson calling his shot, a way too early leak at the Adidas Anthony Edwards 3. Yes, 3. My new hope for Nike and Lego, the week's hottest release, and of course, we have our Hard Pass. All right, let's start the show with some hot takes. So Action Bronson, the man with the keys to the New Balance 990 vault, recently dropped a hot take. It's not surprising since he is so passionate about his sneakers and the public's reception to them have been positive so far. And it probably explains why he was so confident in declaring his 992 collab called Digitalis Purpurea the sneaker of the year, no matter the brand. I'm not so sure about that considering the competition he's up against now and in the next few weeks to close out the year, but hey, I love the confidence. Not so sure the story that the sneaker is the result of his life experiences is going to inspire anybody because that's not a wholly unique tale. Like, yes, unless you're a dork who uses AI for everything without concern for the ethics behind it, chances are, if you're a sneaker designer or somebody who New Balance handed over a black and white picture of the 990 V6 along with some crayons, you probably have some life experience that you can draw from to create a sneaker. Personally, I prefer some of Mr. Baklava's earlier output this year, and I would be interested to see someone else take a stab at it. So, it's been several months since Nike and Lego announced their team up that had people buzzing over what kits could come out of the project. So far, it's been a handful of Nike Dunk and basketball themed sets to go along with some kids exclusive dunks, which is the way it should be, right? The whole purpose of the collaboration is to get kids going outside to get active with their friends and not just be stuck on screens all day. But for those who are Lego adults, which is a level or two below Disney adults, they feel like there's something missing. Sure, you could make your own custom Air Jordans from leftover bricks, but there's something special if it comes from Lego, especially since they will make custom pieces that you just can't replicate. And that feeling is only exacerbated by this really cool, really dope piece by Ben Netumcombe, designer of the Nike A1, the Nike Book 1, and John Morant's and Sabrina Ionescu's signature lines. Low-key, Ben has been making your favorite hooping shoes of the moment, and the kicks kids today will love as retros in the future. Anyways, Ben showed off this amazing custom Nike A1 Lego that beautifully captures the essence of the sneaker right down to the gradient upper. I mean, that would be a must-have for not just Lego fans who are looking for new kits to put together, but sneakerheads and Asia fans as well. I'm hoping this is a tease for a set that's gonna drop down the line. Although, if I had to guess, we'd get something that is going to appeal to a wider audience first, like Dunks or an Air Jordan. You know, sure, it would be fun if Asia got first though, guys. Moving on. Topps has acquired the exclusive rights to make NBA trading cards. There has been a rush in the community to grab the first NBA licensed LeBron James Topps card in a very long time, and the first Cooper Flag rookie cards as well. But what I'm interested in is how they would incorporate sneakers into the mix. See, Topps, Panini, and Upper Deck have all used pieces of game-worn sneakers in previous product in all of the sports, but with Topps and their parent company Fanatics looking in and integrating athletes into the hobby like never before, the potential for sneakers to be next is there. Because unlike worn jerseys that might be difficult to identify and catalog, sneakerheads can tell you the who, what, where, and why of any player exclusive sneaker that makes it onto a card. For example, this Bowman U 1-of-1 trading card featuring top prospect AJ DeBoatsa will feature his autograph and a piece of the Nike swoosh from his Nike KD18. You'll never have to worry about the legitimacy of the swoosh and whether it's the right one because every sneakerhead knows that's the limited edition Nike KD18 Rookie of the Year that was only available at Fanatics Fest 2025 that had a production run of 18 pairs. No one who owns one of the 18 pairs besides AJ is handing over those sneakers to Topps to cut into pieces and slapped onto a card. Sneakerheads, look, we might get a bad rap sometimes, but we are, if nothing else, excellent proofreaders. Hey, I know our friends over at Soul Retriever leaked a first look at the Adidas Anthony Edwards 3. We know it's out there, and we get that it's for clicks and engagement and all that. Just know that here at Hard Pass, we are not going to talk about these way too early leaks for now. The Adidas Anthony Edwards 2 just came out. There are still AE1s available in stores as they clear out inventory, and a takedown model called the Adidas Believe That One has also been leaked by the Soul Retriever folks as well. Just like we don't want to be a nostalgia-fueled show, we're not gonna hang our hats on kicks that are at least 12 months away. Remember, the AE1 had an amazing 2-year run, and the AE2 leaks from last summer were a far cry from the product that's in stores now. What that means is that, hey, check it out, mull it over, and then file it away until November 2026 or later. Because you can bet Adidas is going to want to see if they make Lightning Strike again and have the AE2 in stores for the next 2 years as well. Having generational runs with any one sneaker is way more important in today's sneaker culture than rushing through silhouettes to get some number that we've deemed important or milestone worthy, like the 5 or the 10 or the 20. Nah, when Edwards calls it a career, hopefully in the distant future, it will probably be cooler if he only gets to like 7 or 8 signature shoes instead of the 20s that LeBron, KD, and Steph will have either reached or will approach soon. That means that all of these sneakers lasted longer than a season and were so beloved by consumers that they did not want to move on right away. All right, for our pick of the week, Nike is dropping a rivalry pack featuring teams from the NFC West and the AFC East. Fortunately, that means it includes my five-time Super Bowl champion San Francisco 49ers. Unfortunately, there's 7 other teams in the pack that no one cares about when they could have used those resources to just make more 49ers pairs. So you have the Air Max 90 rivalry, 5-time Super Bowl champion San Francisco 49ers. You have the Los Angeles Rams colorway. You have the Seattle Seahawks colorway. You have the Arizona Cardinals colorway, and you have the Buffalo Bills colorway. You have the Miami Dolphins colorway. You have the New England Patriots colorway, and you also have the New York Jets colorway, which from what I understand is just filled with disappointment. Those are going to drop on the 10th, and they'll cost you $145. All right, before we get to the hard pass, a follow-up to our rant a few episodes ago about New Balance and their muted approach to Shohei Ohtani. As you all no doubt know, the Los Angeles Dodgers are once again World Series champs, defending their title in a hard-fought 7 games against a tough Toronto Blue Jays squad that took them and everybody watching at home to the limit. It's not every day that a 7-game series is played and there were enough extra innings to cover an additional game and change. But that's what happened. Shout out to the Blue Jays for a great fight, and shout out to the Dodgers for allegedly ruining baseball. As somebody who does not follow baseball super closely, I had no idea y'all hated my Dodgers like you hate my 17-time world champion and 1-time NBA Cup champion Los Angeles Lakers. In real life, having something dominated and owned by a select few in the super rich class is a problem. Unrelated to nothing, don't make assumptions, and thank you for voting this past November 4th. Good job. Let's keep going. But yes, in real life, concentrated wealth is bad. In sports, concentrated wealth is also bad. But if they spend that money to win, I guess I'm kind of okay with it. But yes, back to New Balance and Ohtani. Their response to Shohei going back-to-back is an Instagram post that references the amazing feat. That's fine. Nike had a similar fake out bit too. They played Kendrick Lamar's Squabble Up after making it look like they were going to do the Randy Newman I Love LA bit again. A bit of a Drake troll if you want to look at it that way, but I think Kendrick was going to get that honor regardless of the feud. Meanwhile, Jordan Brand went all the way back to 2006 with the Project Pat reference for their guy Mookie Betts. Great googly boogly, or as Fat Joe interpreted, got googly ugly, she boogly oogly. What the hell, Joe? Come on. For once, it's not Cat, but man, put some respect on Project Pat's name and maybe cut him a check for helping inspire Make It Rain. Anyway, so we got 2 funny and inspired clips ready to go from Nike and Jordan Brand. New Balance, a basic picture of Shohei with the caption double feature in the familiar ITC avant-garde Gothic demi-bold font. Don't quote me on that font. That appears to be the consensus online, so let's go with that. Like, really? It fits the New Balance vibe, no doubt, but could we try a little harder? Maybe play a song alongside the picture that was popular in this century. Go for international appeal with some J-pop or a really popular anime intro song at the moment. Just something. Anything to make me feel like it's not just New Balance going through the motions. Oh, and apologies to Clayton Kershaw. We forgot that he was a Skechers guy. And we've done more to acknowledge that Kershaw wears Skechers and closed out his Hall of Fame career with another world championship than actual Skechers. Yeah. You're welcome, Skechers. All right. It's time for this week's Hard Pass. We take a look at something in the culture that just needs to go. Actually, for the first time ever, we're not going to declare who or what the Hard Pass is this week. We're pretty sure you can figure out yourself. Don't worry. We trust you. So, we are a few weeks into the NBA's new TV deal with more variety and streamers and outlets to watch basketball than ever before. I mean, things are so new and kind of confusing that the league had to break out with an infographic just so you can keep track. Now, to be fair, every sport is like this. The NFL also works with NBC/Peacock, Amazon, and ABC/ESPN, and then they have Fox and CBS, not to mention Netflix on Christmas Day. I swear, the moment they figure out how to superimpose the field with characters from Demon Slayer or Dragon Ball, or I was reincarnated as the seventh prince so I can take my time perfecting my magic ability, they are getting that Crunchyroll bag too. And I also can't believe that co-writer just made me say that last one. He could have at least picked something I watched, like Campfire Cooking in Another World with my absurd skill. Anyways, baseball has all of their regional stuff. The WWE has deals everywhere. And hockey, people watch hockey too. Yay, hockey. And as much of a bummer it is that F1 won't just be available on free TV anymore after they announced their Apple TV Plus deal, at least it's all in one place. Then again, F1 doesn't have Charles Barkley on one network making fun of Fernando Alonso moving from team to team chasing a third championship, or Blake Griffin on another show calling out Lance Stroll for seemingly not caring. Apologies to the Aston Martin Aramco Formula One team, #trademark copyright. Your two drivers were just the first ones that came to mind. It's nothing personal. We are open to sponsorship opportunities though. If you are in need of an official podcast, or if you have any more room on the car for the Hard Pass logo, we will gladly send you our yearly marketing budget of $20 ASAP. Just let me know your Zelle or Venmo or your Cash App. Wait, where was I? All right. Look, it just feels right to have the NBA on NBC back. It's only been a few weeks, and they are absolutely nailing the presentation of the sport that has been sorely missing since the last time they had the rights. And it's not even about reinventing the broadcast, like giving us different camera angles or glowing basketballs, although glowing basketballs would be funny if they could turn it on for a player who makes 3 baskets in a row a la NBA Jam. Steph Curry, during his ascension to superstardom, was fun to watch on his own. But if they could have incorporated some sort of on-fire graphic whenever he was going on one of his crazy shooting nights in 2016, it would have elevated him even more. What NBC is nailing is that for all of the hand-wringing about the league is made just for the terminally online freaks who love everything but the actual games, actually just showing the games and letting it breathe works. Who knew? Making player introductions a regular part of the show is cool. One of the reasons we all fell in love with the Chicago Bulls in the 90s was because we got to see the very cool intros they would play before the games. I have no idea what kind of projects Alan Parsons was into, but I know the one he made about Sirius was a banger. Of course, Round Ball Rock is a staple that needs no notes. We covered MJ's insights to excellence on the game of basketball a few times already. And the studio team of Maria Taylor, Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady, and Carmelo Anthony has lots of potential. My one quibble with NBC's commitment to nostalgia is that they need to get rid of AI Jim Fagan. For those who don't know, Fagan was the voice you heard in those classic commercials announcing when the Bulls would face the Knicks or the Lakers would play the Sonics. He passed away in 2017, but NBC brought his voice back through the use of AI. On the one hand, the AI is believable enough that maybe I wouldn't have caught it if NBC didn't disclose it early on. On the other, maybe we just let someone else still alive get a crack at this. I understand that this was done with the family's consent and they were likely compensated very well for this, but maybe this one nostalgia play we don't need to do. Moving on to Amazon. Good to know that our Prime subscriptions are going to something worthwhile like the NBA 2K-ass digital court they use for their strategy segments. The set is at once decadent yet homey at the same time with the couches and the chairs they sit on. Blake is Blake, which is great. Udonis Haslem has no problem being curmudgeon-y when it's appropriate. And Dirk Dirk won a championship in 2011 against UD and the vaunted Miami Big Three, so he's just going to be perpetually happy and a positive guy. And when they do critique players though, so far it doesn't come across as your first take style ass hateration for the sake of clicks. The key there is so far. Even when you throw in Steve Nash's coaching stint in Brooklyn, all of these players were in NBA locker rooms fairly recently, so they still have a connection and understanding of the modern game and how it's just different from the good old days. Not saying it's better or worse, just different. Looking forward to seeing what's next from them, and of course, Taylor Rooks is an ace wherever she goes. And finally, we've got the Inside the NBA guys moving to ESPN. Look, so far, so good. Listen, if they didn't mess with Pat McAfee's show, they weren't going to mess with a vastly superior product. Charles, Kenny, Shaq, and Ernie are still doing the same show that they've always done. The logos are just a little bit different. Not gonna lie, I would not have minded a change of the set, especially when you compare it to Amazon's new digs, but I understand if they didn't want to make big changes and instead focused on assuring fans nothing was changing. It's just that Amazon's LED board of a basketball court makes Kenny's big board segments feel so antiquated. I'm not sure Shaq tripping or TNT randomly putting a scooter there for Kenny to mess with him is gonna keep working. Well, that's a lie. That's absolutely gonna work at least a few times, but they're gonna need new and fresh bits to keep the ball rolling. As for the weeks that Inside won't be around and it's the ESPN hot take artists handing out hosting duties, well, I think we will all tolerate all of these new ways to watch it if it means we get less Kendrick Perkins sounding like a fool, Stephen A. Smith bending the knee to whichever political party will get him more viewers to his podcast, and Richard Jefferson looking like he did on the 2004 Olympic team, out of place, behind the curve, and barely good enough for a bronze medal. Barely. The best thing about the Inside crew moving to ESPN is less ESPN. The best thing about Amazon's NBA coverage is that they will bring the serious analysis that ESPN sorely lacks. And the best thing about NBC's return is that finally good music is back because, my goodness, ESPN and ABC have not made a single bop in the whole time Round Ball Rock has been gone. They had nearly 20 years and they couldn't do it. In conclusion, Malika Andrews, Chiney Ogwumike, Doris Burke, Mike Bream, Tim Legler, and a whole bunch of names that I'm forgetting show up on that network deserve better. Take a wild guess what the hard pass was after all. All right, that's going to do it for the show. Thank you guys for watching Hard Pass. I'm Jacques Slade. I know I'll see you next week. And if you'd like to possibly be featured in a future episode, call us at 818-493-9325. Leave a short message, your social media if you want, no more than 30 seconds. And also, click here or here because YouTube believes these are the videos you want to watch. All right. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.